The purpose of this video is to provide you, the water right claimant, with some useful information that will help guide you through the legal process by which water rights are adjudicated as determined in court. You will learn about the purpose of water rights adjudications, how to deal with the legal papers that you will receive, and how to negotiate with the state engineer. The process in each stream system differs slightly, so the information we provide in this video is necessarily somewhat general, but we believe that it will be very helpful to you. Understanding the process will help you know what to expect. You may wonder, why is the state of New Mexico adjudicating water rights in the first place? Well, because the legislature, who represents the people of New Mexico, that is you and your neighbors, asked it to do so. The purpose of a water rights adjudication is to legally define, in a court of law, all the water rights in a stream system. Once you have gone through the process and your water right is adjudicated by the court, you will then receive a document called a subfile order that is similar to a title to land. It is a legal document establishing the existence and extent of your water right. There are currently 12 active adjudications in New Mexico, but adjudications are not unique to our state. They are being conducted all over the West, where water is scarce and water rights are valuable. To date, only a portion of all water rights of the state is adjudicated, but the goal is to eventually have them all legally defined. That's important because when water rights are leased or bought and sold, everyone will know exactly what they have to lease or what they are selling and buying. Right now, it can be risky to lease or buy water rights because a water right that is not adjudicated may turn out not to be exactly what the seller believes it to be. Water rights adjudications therefore promote certainty and confidence in the ownership of your water right. Water rights adjudications are lawsuits conducted in the district courts by the Office of the State Engineer, who represents the state of New Mexico. You may wonder, why do I have to be involved in a lawsuit? There is no reason to be alarmed. You are participating in this lawsuit because you claim a water right that must be legally confirmed by a court. All your neighbors who claim water rights will also be part of the adjudication suit. Only municipal water users that are hooked up to the city's water distribution system, and in some stream systems, domestic well owners, are not participating. The state and all water right claimants in a stream system participate in the adjudication lawsuit. They typically include individual irrigators, municipalities, such as the cities of Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Cruces, and Las Vegas. Small community domestic water systems called Mutual Domestic Water Users Associations, acequias, and Native American tribes and pueblos. In some stream systems, domestic water uses are also adjudicated. The United States participates in its role as trustee for the Native Americans, and also for agencies such as the Bureau of Reclamation, which is responsible for federal reclamation projects. Irrigation and conservation districts, such as the Elephant Butte Irrigation District and the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District, may also participate in adjudication lawsuits. All of these claims represent competing demands on the stream system. Indian water right claims typically are the oldest water rights in a stream system, followed by acequias and other irrigation water right claims. Often municipalities and mutual domestic water users associations have the newest rights in the stream system. Under our prior appropriation system, this means that in times of shortage, the older or senior rights can still divert their water while the newer or junior rights may be shut down. The priority date of a water right is therefore its most important aspect. Each water right claimant should care about the adjudication of his or her water rights and participate actively. Water rights are valuable property rights. They can be leased and sold. In the arid states of the West, they are the basis of all economic activity. In New Mexico, they also represent important traditional, cultural, and ceremonial values. Most water rights adjudications begin with a hydrographic survey that is conducted by the state engineer. A hydrographic survey is an inventory of all water uses in a stream system. Aerial photography taken in flights over the stream system allows state engineer staff to determine the size of each irrigated piece of land and sometimes the type of crop that is grown. The state engineer staff also conducts research at the county clerk's office to determine current land ownership. All of this information is compiled into the hydrographic survey, and the state engineer's legal staff then begins to join all identified water right owners to the lawsuit. The Office of the State Engineer will send you a large packet of documents with an explanation of what to do and all deadlines by which the documents must be returned. The packet includes a summons and a court complaint that starts the lawsuit. The summons tells you that you must file an answer, and the complaint tells you what the nature of the lawsuit is. You will also receive an offer of judgment or proposed consent order, a subfile map clearly showing your irrigated acreage, and a form that allows you to object to the offer of judgment or proposed consent order if you disagree with the state's description of your water use. It is extremely important that you answer the complaint, which is the legal paper that opens your case. Fill out the form answer included in the packet and return it to the court by the deadline. This tells the court that you want to participate and joins you to the lawsuit. If you do not answer, you lose your right to participate and to object to the state engineer's description of your water right. Your water right may then be adjudicated as it is described in the hydrographic survey, or you may lose your water right altogether. Make sure you complete all forms and return them on time. The offer of judgment or proposed consent order contains the state's description of your water right, including the priority date, whether it is a surface or groundwater right, the point of diversion, the place and purpose of use of the water, and the size of the irrigated parcel of land if the water right is for irrigation purposes, or the amount of water that you have used over the years if you are a municipality or mutual domestic water user association. The hydrographic survey is not always correct. You have a right to object to each aspect of the state's description of your water right in the offer of judgment or proposed consent order if you do not agree. Fill out the appropriate forms that are enclosed in your packet and return them by the deadline. Once this is completed, the negotiation and resolution process starts. A few words about the adjudication process. It does not have to be difficult, and in most cases, it isn't. The court, the state engineer, and the Joe Stell Ombudsman program at the Utton Transboundary Resources Center are all here to help you. You should make use of these resources if you are confused or need help. It may also be helpful to hire an attorney to guide you through the process, but that usually is not necessary. The simplest and quickest way to resolve your disagreements with the state is to talk to the state engineer's staff. In a vast majority of cases, disagreements with the state engineer are easily resolved. After you send in your objection, someone from the office of the state engineer will contact you and ask you to send in or bring into a meeting any evidence you have to support your position. For example, you may have evidence of an earlier priority date, or you may disagree with the state engineer's description of your irrigated acreage. A state engineer staff person may then come out to your property for a field recheck. The Ombudsman program can help you by discussing with you the adjudication process and types of documents that you may want to present to the state engineer during negotiations. The state engineer staff will only make those changes that it can defend in court based on facts and evidence. When the disagreement is resolved, the state engineer issues a revised offer of judgment or consent order. You will sign this document, and the state engineer will file it with the court for the judge's signature. You receive your copy of the order for your records, and you're done. If your negotiations with the state engineer's staff do not result in an agreement, the court may provide an impartial mediator who can help resolve your disagreements. If negotiation and mediation do not result in agreement, then you get your day in court. A judge presides over each water rights adjudication, but in many cases, a special master, who is like a deputy judge, conducts the actual day-to-day work of the adjudication. The special master holds hearings and makes recommendations to the judge for a final ruling. Both you and the state engineer's staff will present evidence on the disputed issue, and the special master or the judge will then make a decision. Every adjudication has two phases. The first phase, called the subfile phase, involves the determination of each claimant's water rights between the state and the claimant. The result is a subfile order for each water right owner. During the subfile phase, there may also be some so-called global issues litigation. Global issues are issues that affect everybody in the stream system, not just an individual water user. For example, the quantity of water that is allowed for each acre of irrigated land is generally the same for all irrigated lands in a stream system. Litigation over that quantity, therefore, affects all water right claimants. You will be notified of global issues litigation and may participate and weigh in if you so choose. The second phase is called the inter se phase. This is a Latin phrase that means among themselves. This phase occurs after all the subfile orders are filed. Water right owners then have the right to challenge other water right owners' subfile orders. For example, if you know that your neighbor misrepresented his priority date, you may object to his priority date. As a practical matter, however, most inter se challenges are not neighbor against neighbor, but are filed against the very large water right claims of municipalities and Indian tribes. Once all inter se issues are litigated and resolved, the court enters a final decree and the adjudication is completed. State law provides that actual beneficial use of water is the basis, the measure, and the limit of the water right. This means that you will only be adjudicated the amount of water for acreage you actually irrigate, or if you are a municipality or mutual domestic water users association, the amount of water you can prove up. Often the size of the piece of land you own is larger than the piece you actually irrigate. If you have irrigated more land in the past but have abandoned irrigation of some of your acreage, the state will only adjudicate to you the acreage you are still irrigating. In irrigation and conservancy districts, the number of acres you are assessed for is not necessarily the same as the number of acres you have actually irrigated. Let's summarize. There are basically two things you will have to do when you receive your packet from the state engineer. 1. Fill out the form answer to the summons by the deadline stated in your packet and mail it back to the court to preserve your right to participate in the various phases of the adjudication. And 2. Respond to the state's description of your water right, either by signing the offer of judgment or by stating your objection on the form provided. For all of these things, there will be forms to fill out and instructions in your packet, so there won't be any guesswork about what to do or how to do it. If you have additional questions at any time during the process, you should not hesitate to contact any of the people listed below.